you can see a blue and white budgie, sometimes called a parakeet, up there. That's Peewee. And we'll also talk about briefly the canary. And with us, we have Brian. Hi, Brian.
Hi.
How are you guys doing today?
Well, we're doing great. We're in a room full of budgies and canary, and so doesn't get much better.
So there's probably often a lot of little chittering and chattering and happy little bird noises.
Yeah, so, go ahead.
Since they're two very different species, let's start with Peewee. How long have you had him? How did he come to Mickaboo?
Peewee's a girl.
Ah.
And we've had her for a little over a year. We picked her up at one of the avian vets that Mickaboo works with for the birds. It wasn't clear to us at that time whether Peewee had been surrendered or had been found and turned into a shelter. So we don't know her history exactly, but she's been with us for just over a year now.
And so budgies have different dietary requirements from, say, lovebirds, even though they're both pretty small. What does Peewee eat, and what does she like to eat, and what's part of her important diet? I think I see a millet sprig hanging in there in her cage and some greens.
So I'd like to just take a few seconds here to talk about budgies or parakeets in general.
Please, yes.
Like the lovebirds, they're great starter birds, especially for somebody that's just getting started with birds as pets. They have really big personalities for such little birds. Most are trainable, at least most can be trained to step up on a finger, and many of them can learn to speak, a few words at least. They chatter constantly. You can probably hear some of the chatter going on right now. And they just brighten up a home. Budgies chatter all day long. They're pretty social birds. And as you get into the bigger birds, we'll find out about birds' interactions with humans and the need for a lot of attention. Budgies are very social. They need attention. They especially like to be around other budgies. They will bond to people, but they don't require the same amount of attention as the larger parrots. Peewee, you asked about diet. Her main diet is nutrient cakes, and Jim mentioned those also when he talked about the lovebirds. Those are available at the veterinarian. It's hard to see, but that's, yeah. So there are cakes that are a combination of seed and pellet and other nutrients, so it's a very well-balanced diet. In addition to that, she, as you mentioned, has a millet spray that is kind of a treat for her to snack on periodically. She doesn't gorge herself on that because she gets most of what she needs from the cakes. And we also give her a fresh bunch of organic Italian parsley every day. She just kind of jumped behind it there. And so we wash that and get it good and wet and then hang it from the top of the cage. And well, it's nice and wet like that. She likes to jump into it and hang on it. That's her way of bathing on a daily basis.
It's a green bath.
That's pretty much it for diet on the budgies.
Now, budgies are really pretty social birds, right? And
yes,
usually we like to see them in groups of 2 or more. I noticed that Peewee's in her own cage. I'm guessing that there are some budgies right next door?
Yes, we keep her separate from the other budgies because they're all males and she's a female. And as you mentioned earlier, we don't want to have any breeding situation going on.
Right, but she can still interact with the other birds, so she's getting her social needs met.
Exactly. Yeah, she likes to be around the other birds. She's a little on the shy side. and she does tend to like her own space. So, as I mentioned, we keep her away from the males, and she enjoys their company. We think it would be great if she could go into a home that already has a couple of budgies,
Right.
or if she could go into a home that's planning to have more than one.
Right.
Because I think, well, I believe that if somebody was willing to spend the time with her, they could get her to step up on a finger and be more of a people bird. As Jim mentioned, we kind of like birds to just be their own birds. And so we haven't spent much time trying to train her. So I think it would be great if she could go into a home that have other budgies or planning to have other budgies.
Awesome.
You mentioned it's nice to have 2 or more. We did an experiment. At one point, we had 3, and we found out that that can be a little problematic, as 2 of them may pair up and exclude the other. So that's why we have 4 in another pair of cages.
Right, right. So she looks like a really neat bird. It's just fun watching her interact.